Game number 4. We're living in the light again, team. So everyone here who was about to flow off into some deep sleep somewhere, we're living in the light. Moving the speed up. Come back, Kobe. I miss you. There he is. So, TSM pick up blue side. It's been the meta so far. We liked how TL subverted the top lane problems on blue side in game number 3. But now they have still the Broken Blade problem on the red side. Kindred ban first round. Okay. I like the GP ban because the GP early pick ended up being a band-aid to get through some bad matchups. And TL eventually leave up Lissandra when it's Lissandra and Jace. Now, Lissandra priority in Korea has been going down a lot. Because Zoe can be so strong into the matchup, and because in general Lissandra hasn't been as reliably winning. Like, teams are getting better at disengaging Aftershock procs, so I agree that given the player lineup here, they should have more answers to other top laners. I think they want to pick top lane at Jensen's pick and then double ban 2 more carry top laners for TSM. TSM just draft the most standard first round. TL draft a super standard answer. So Lissandra's taken. There's no duo lane that really punishes Varus, Tahm Kench. Like we saw the Galio. Kalista certainly wasn't that if they don't get a good start. That part's fine. TSM willing to hold on to their AD carry because they just want to take one of Rek'Sai or Jarvan. Now, the options, I think Smithy's a pretty flexible jungle. Like he falls back to Gragas quite easily. I like top laner double bans. Like Kennen double ban. Like Kennen Vlad ban. Maybe like Vlad Aurelia ban. I think is pretty good here. And if it's Jax, you don't care as much as some of the other options. Now, GP would have been taken first round here by TL to continue what they were doing. But they take a Zilean instead. Okay, this is very, very different to what I expected. They dropped the Jarvan priority, which I know a lot of people have been screaming for over the last couple of weeks in NA. They take Zilean first round with Kindred banned anyway. We've seen Zilean Cinderhulk Jarvan. I'm not a huge fan of it. I need more information about what they want to do from here. It's a good pick into Lissandra if you're not going to go Zoe. So I guess they just want to pick something pretty comfortably into Lissandra. You can go cleanse in this lane, or you can pick up a QSS. Many ways to play it. Zilean first round. Zilean feels like the NA champ. I remember when in like pre-season 1, Zilean mid lane became a meta thing, and Curse was running it a lot with... What was his name? Does anyone remember his name? Was it SYDTKO when he played mid lane before Jackie? Yes, I've been following this game for a long time. Ever since then, Zilean mid lane has kind of been NA mostly, and no other region has been big on Zilean. Aurelia ban here is good. They're leaving Vlad open as an option, so it seems like Team Liquid feel like they can deal with the Vlad. Now, Skarner goes really well with Zilean. Just to get those really turbo engages. And Skarner is probably going to be the second ban here, you would imagine. Because they banned the Olaf, which ended up getting like completely ignored by Arcadian on red side in the previous game when it was left open. The Hecarim's banned. They seem to say, all right, if you do go Skarner, it's going to be a lower damage comp. So they ban away the Hecarim here. It's going to go Skarner. Matchup good against Rek'Sai. And it works really well with Varus because you have a lot of pick power here. And Double Bomb also helps with that. I wonder what impacts last picking. And what the blind pick top lane is. Do you just take Vladimir anyway? I assume Impact just plays Kennen and has to deal with the Vladimir matchup. Interesting. Okay, so it's going to be a Kali. So TSM have a comp that's very, very flexible. A lot of mobility, a lot of ability to pack up and go to other lanes. Lissandra is a great roaming champion. And it seems like it's mostly going to be Akali getting a lane advantage over the effective range of Impact's champion pool. Like, he doesn't feel like Impact can play a champion that beats Akali. And Kennen is not a champion that beats Akali. If Akali gets going, Lissandra can leave lane. Rek'Sai has flexible path things. Teleport Ezreal. So this is very much going to be 4-1 on the side of TSM. 1-3-1 if they can get away with it, right? It's TP Zilean. If they force cleanse out of Zilean, then it's 1-3-1 from TSM. If it's TP Zilean, I think 4-1 is probably how they prefer to play, but, you know, coming in from a flank. Closest to 1-3-1 we've had certainly in a while for both teams. But Akali can overwhelm both Zilean and the Kennen in a 1v1 over time. And that's why lane assignments can get quite hard in this matchup. Are you in Korea right now? I am. I'm in Korea right now as we speak. On holidays, but streaming for the faithful, for everyone who's come out today. Game number 4, another match point. So with the GP gone, no longer a first round top lane. It's Kennen in a matchup where he's fine early and then things can get pretty damn tricky. And Turbo Skarner. Turbo Skarner is a fun one. Skarner plus Zilean movement speed makes the acquisition of the first target pretty easy. Now, they don't have the ability to burst someone that fast afterwards. Like, the damage on this comp isn't that high. Zilean's damage is unreliable. As what happened here? So it's just a spotting war on the top side. They get the deep ward in late. And then Kennen just goes for a walk and finds a Braum. Like this. Impact's pretty... Impact's not really thinking about this scenario very clearly to go for a face shot that bold against Braum. It's a pretty big mistake, but not the sort of thing that's going to be super punished in lane. Akali doesn't have any gank assists, so junglers never want to go topside for her. But, you know, if Rek'Sai finds the right Shaco style path, things can happen. No ambiguity about Xsmithy starting topside buff. Double lift and Core JJ hit lane first. If you get a level 2 advantage, Varus and Tahm Kench almost never lose lane. Gonna see a lot of Varus at MSI clearly. Varus Tahm Kench was reminded to a lot of people as the god tier lane. But the Tahm Kench nerf does remove some of the luster a bit. I like the pathing from Xsmithy. He goes red into bot scuttle with the Varus Tahm Kench, who were always going to have lane control because they ended first. So if you're going to get a leash from your top laner and start red buff, going bot lane, which gets the biggest advantage because they get to hit lane first and it's Varus Tahm Kench, is the area you're going to have priority every time. Therefore, take the scuttle around that area. Smart. Jensen flashes. Successful gank. Nicely done. So squishy, the Zilean. Good lane position here from Jensen. Like Kobe's talking about. There's full information to everyone, and that full information is enough for Jensen to stand in the right spot. If you're like one Teemo further down the lane, you die for sure there. But it's already, both solo lanes lose their flash. Like, if you're a Skarner here, if you're playing solo queue and you have your top laner blows flash at level 1 and your mid laner flashes as well and your Skarner like nowhere near level 6, like you're just like, guys, please, like, please just don't die in lane. Now the good news is that both the Kennen and the Zilean have movement speed increases, so they're less likely to die, but it's a strong ganking jungler against a weak jungler pre-6 and both lanes flashed, so there have been happier days than this particular Skarner's predicament. Bot lane winning. You got that going for you. You know, Arcadian can find whatever lane he wants, and he finally gets the flash in mid. Let's watch this. So Xsmithy takes his camp, goes straight back mid, because mid is the most obvious place to gank. And Xsmithy's job after first back is to help Zilean get to level 6 and or his flash being back up. That is your job as the jungler here, because you can't gank top lane, flash disadvantage, you can't gank mid lane. It's Lissandra. You can't gank bot lane, they're level 3. So because of that, Skarner wants to reset, get boots for his keystone, go mid, and put down a control ward that Zilean can hug. That's how you can play out the rest of this lane, right? Is you have to have your jungler put down a control ward, otherwise there's no safe place for Jensen to stand against Flash Lissandra, Flash Rek'Sai. So he comes straight down the mid lane, and Xmithie at this point, before he notices the claw, is running straight to put down a control ward at the entrance to the river. The reason why it's on this side, which for our intents and purposes the right side of the screen, is because the control ward at the entrance there is one that can be hugged, that allows Zilean to play towards his strong bot lane who have priority. Meanwhile, if you put a control on the left side of the screen, i.e. the top side of the map, you're putting a control ward that can't be defended if Akali pushes and roams with her priority, or if Rek'Sai just walks up, your duo lane can't help you. So Xfinity is just pathing down to give the Zilean a control ward to live through, and then starts channeling the Predator. It's all under turret here, and Jensen's lane positioning, if you notice, he's actually behind the urn, right? He's behind the lit torch on the left. So he's not far down the lane. He's doing the old Kuro Victor of throwing some bombs and hoping the minions die to it. So this is not overextended, even with the flash disadvantage. So with the movement speed, see, the moment Bjergsen flashes in, already under turret aggro, which lets you know that Jensen is in no way overextended at all. All they can do is flash for further kills, and this punishment is epic. That's TL, but this is the reason why people should have some faith in this team. Jensen and Xmithie have played between them over 1,000 competitive games, you'd have to assume. Definitely a huge amount of competitive games. And the team should be tilt-proof because there are no more unpredictable kind of mental state players. Like Ole, for all his credit, lovely guy. You know, the MSI situation kind of betrayed that there was not the best overall kind of overall mentality among the team. That change comes out. Pobelta goes out, and with Pobelta was kind of the mental breaks, right, when it comes to international events. Jensen's in. He shouldn't have any problems in international events. He looked great at Worlds multiple years. And then specifically Core JJ comes in, right? And he's cool as a cucumber as a player. Now you have 5 players with strong mental who are all to varying degrees strong in their roles. And 1 game down, whatever, 2 games down, you really need strong mental in the final comeback. And they're, still 2 match points at this point. And then double flash down on Impact and Jensen. Like, what's the betting market for a Skarner being involved in a 2-for-0 when his Kennen flashed and his Zilean flashed, with double summon a disadvantage, right? We were already talking about how that he should not be able to do anything. He does the only thing he should do, which is the practice thing of going mid lane to put down the ward, and they turn around to gank, involving, 1 experienced player and, of course, 1 player playing his first final. So really strong mentality here. They make the right call. Xfinity knows where he needs to be, and they just lap up the mess that TSM unfortunately caused themselves. Good lane positioning from Jensen. It's really hard to be the Zilean against Flash Lissandra, Flash Rek'Sai, and not just give up the lane and miss CS. Like, it's hard to be the safest possible you need to be without dying. Like, already that sounds like a lot to ask for, but Jensen does it. He positions really well here. This shit is hard. I'm going to be honest. It doesn't look remarkable, but to get a 2-for-0 in this game is something that, for so many different reasons, shouldn't happen, but it did. So shout out to TL there. And it's really big that a comp that's pretty low on damage like TL's, where Zilean's unreliable damage, Varus is good damage, and Kennen is towards the reliable side, but isn't anything special. Like, with no damage, Skarner, Tahm Kench, and then Zilean being utility. Like, getting a good start like this is so big. If you give up 3 kills in the early game and return to these flashes and get kills, there's so much of a chance that TL never have the overall levels and items to ever fight fights because you're just behind in damage too much. So really big moment for TL. Nice deep control ward. Who put down this one? Wow, this was ages ago. Wait. Who put it down? Yeah, Smithy's ward. What are we going to call that ward? This ward got them a lot of value just then. We need a good ward name. Come on, chat, help me out. Are we going to call it Muffin QT? Are we going to call it Goose? What are we going to call this ward? This ward's getting a lot of value. The Spanish Inquisition? That's too long a name for a ward. Secret Agent ward? No, it's too simple. Vedius was already a ward. Goose is a good name. It says Nick Goose. Hello, Nick Goose. I'm waiting to see something. I'm going to know it when I see it. Keep going, chat. All right, we're going to call it Maverick. So Maverick over here. Getting a lot of value. Nice job, Maverick. Group minion wave top. This is cute. Impacts was slow pushing it to threaten a turret dive, but Skarn is on a ward, so it's not going to work. So we were just around here. Oh no, Maverick died right after! Well, at least he died with a name, you know? Wouldn't it be way worse to die without a name? Rest in peace, Maverick. Every Akali matchup gets so good. I think Akali is so strong. I remember when I saw the Akali change on the Shroud, I knew it would be insanely massive. Like I was talking it up to Atlas. I talked it up on stream. The ability to return to the Shroud once and get the full 3-second extend makes it such a good zoning tool. And you drop so many auto attacks in the 1v1. It's insane. So ended up being a huge buff, and that's why Akali is going to be permanently contested at MSI. Champion's really strong right now. She wins almost every melee matchup. I mean, wins is strong, but she certainly doesn't lose them. And then she gets Gunblade and wins the game. So for priority early, no, but otherwise, yes, I agree with you. Nicely played by TSM here. Question, does anyone know how long the Void Seeker mark is to be able to reactivate it to ult? How long is it? Is it like 4 seconds or something? Is it 8 seconds, really? I saw an 8. I don't know if that's true. 4 seconds is what my head would say is the right amount of time to not be too long. If anyone can actually look it up, I'd appreciate it. I don't want to actually tab away and take away from the game, but I was thinking about how long that took. Let's watch it again. So he autos at like 8:14. Yeah, maybe 5 seconds, right? Yeah, that was maximum amount of duration. Watch this. So last auto is that one. Yeah, almost the entire duration is used, and they get Jensen. Well played by Arcadian. Yeah, that was close to the maximum amount of time there. It's so hard to get those kills. And yeah, I mean, execute doesn't even give local experience to anyone. It's nicely done because I assume that Bjergsen has Demolish, and he gets a Demolic proc onto the... Yeah, he gets Turret Plate with a Demolish proc. If your mid laner doesn't have Demolish, I think that's actually not that good because you're probably going to lose Drake for it. But with your mid laner having Demolish, it is nice for Bjergsen to pick up 160 gold from that. Oh, does he keep... keeps the buffs. I guess it's a execute, so you keep the buffs. Is that right? So, when was Drake taken? Drake's taken at 9:16. Timer here is important. This play is actually after a reset. So at 9:16, the Drake is taken. At 9:40, it's an Abyssal Voyage play with the Skarner. Skarner actually takes it and either doesn't back or comes straight back. Yeah, Smithy didn't back, just stuck around. I guess took one camp, came back, and came from Abyssal Voyage play. That's pretty good. Get one kill for it. Is there more to get here, is the question. Skarner stays bot. I guess the objective now is to get turret plates. To be clear, pack up and go bot lane plays from the cannon like that are usually not the right call. They use a lot to make this happen, right? Because they TP. They TP as well. Like they use a lot to make this happen. Notice Akali doesn't actually have her ult to interrupt under turret. She could have just ulted in to interrupt it. Usually that play is negative because Akali is going to get closer to her gunblade and you invested so much to get one turret plate, one kill. But remember that double lift being strong and hitting his items is more important than almost anything else that happens early game, because as the only consistent damage dealer on the team, if double lift doesn't have like his lunch served with a smile and all served on a silver platter, the comp doesn't really do anything. So TPing there is actually more understandable. And as is pointed out by the chat, they were able to get some defensive summoners as well. What I mean is the defensive summoners they get are largely on bot lane. And the big play here is that double lift gets to go back bot lane after taking a turret plate with a fresh shot, play the Ruin King, and like you say, both flashes down. If you pack up and leave top lane with a more balanced comp that doesn't need the Varus to be like ahead or always trading up, I think it's almost always wrong. I think in this game, it's very easy to convince me that it was the right play to make because it goes to the late game and, you know, like there's so many scenarios where they run out of damage that I think it's right to make proactive early game calls. Oh, what a beast! Let's watch this play again. So that's R used. So the first R is using an impact at full health, so he has to know a turret dive is coming. He doesn't have wards to spot the turret dive, but the first R being used for that tells you that a turret dive's coming. So good top laner sense. So buys some time. Bjergsen takes turret shots. The self-ult comes in. Comes back in as well. Like if you pause at this point, knowing the Impact's ult is down. There's no ult on Impact. That's the reason why they're so aggressively leading with Akali ult, because A, the cavalry's coming, and B, you can for once turret dive Pikachu, and Pikachu won't get mad and kill you. So if the ult was like mistimed by 5 seconds, consider what happens if the re-engage is there now, right? Like, if instead of going all the way around the turret, you could have flash ulted, you probably die, but you're close to a triple kill. Impact plays is awesome. What a beast. Damn, now 4 flashes are down across the map. All played. Small little Skarner advice, by the way. You don't see it this time, but it's a pretty common mechanic. As Skarner, what you do is you pull for the first 1 second of the suppression, and then towards the end, you turn around your model, and if you turn around, like if you click in the opposite direction, the Akali actually ends up being displaced all the way behind you. So it adds about 250 range worth of suppression. even if he doesn't turn, so it actually ends up being a really easy flash for the Akali to get out. So you want to turn towards the ends, the butt wriggle, as F. Marst puts it, to get the extra displacement out. They get the kill anyway, and actually get the kill bot lane as well. What happens bot lane? I'm watching bot lane to see what happens. Chain of Corruption hits and he kills him. We're going to get a replay of that. But yeah, if you're a solo queue Skarner player, always turn at the end of the suppression to extend the amount of displacement. Man, this is the sort of game where you really can snowball hard, because if you remember what happened, Kennen did the team thing, packed up top lane to try to get an advantage bot lane. We said that it's around the Varus, so it's probably okay. In other games, it might not have worked. They got the 2 summoners, as we all noted together. Thank you, chat, for that. And then that person who did the team thing is targeted by multiple members of TSM, outplays there, and then there's also first the 2v2 kill bot and the kills up top. So this is like a lot of and going on that lets you know that TL is like actually insanely massively ahead. They just got 3 kills, Rift Herald, turret plates. Varus got a bounty now. Oh, this is huge. Here's what happened bot lane. If you're wondering how he knew to hit this, Sven walks up to auto attack. So the reason Doublelift knows to aim exactly there and that it's very likely Sven is going to get hit is because Sven wants to kill the cannon. And even though that all happened, Unbreakable's on cooldown. Doublelift. Doublelift feels so good at that moment. Like, Doublelift returned to pro play for moments like that, where he's like, I just outplayed this punk. And he gets to call most people punk, because of course he is one of the veterans. How did this start? Early Shroud. He had a control ward to cover that direction. I don't think Akali and Rek'Sai out trades Skarner and Kennen right now. It'd be even. More even than in most games. Oh my god. So many turret plates! Oh. The standard 10 turret plate game. 10 turret plates is 1,600 gold worth of bonus gold that it just disappears in 4 seconds. TL had a comp that needed to get ahead, and they've blown ahead because TSM made a couple of mistakes, but credit to TL for being proactive. Like, this is a really proactive game. Like, you can beat a lot of comps playing like this, a lot of teams playing like this, where everything just falls into your lap and goes way better, and the momentum this gives them is, like, unbelievable. TL is obliterating TSM. Damn. Impact's Kennen. It's good. We can say he's a Kennen player now. His Kennen's good. His Jace was not bad in semifinals. Yeah. I love that Azael says lazy recall, because it definitely is. Whenever you see someone continue to channel recall like that, you know they're in the shop. So lazy recall. It's the right to call out the player. Shout out to Azael. Called out the player at the right time. Just like when Faker was shopping half of 2018. Damn. This game is telling me, this series is telling me one thing really clearly. It's that right now, for MSI, we really want TL MSI. And I know that will be a really unpopular thing because TSM is, hugely supported team. But seeing TL go down 2 games and play with a lot of smarts, with some nice picks and bans in game number 3, and then make some good proactive moves and everyone kind of play their part, tells me that this team is not tiltable. And I think that's so important for an international event where whether you send TL or TSM, they're not going to be favorites against against the other major regions. Like this, I think whether it's TL or TSM, you comfortably take G2, IG, SKT, right? I don't think that's an insult to anyone. But at least the team you are sending doesn't have any problem positions except for top lane. And the top lane champion pool, if anything, is moving slightly towards him rather than slightly farther away. I think Jensen to other people is a question mark, but he hasn't really done anything of note this series, but he hasn't looked like a second tier player either, so I guess I'm okay with that as well. Doublelift not tiltable with his flashes. I mean, Doublelift gave game 1 over. He literally said, "Witness me," and suicided for them to lose. Like, we spent. I'm gonna talk to you, INSP 47 with your kappa. Like, literally, we spent like 3 to 5 minutes trying to work out why he inted. Like, he walked up for rapid fire cannon auto on Sever as far as we could tell to kill a cannon minion. Now, it doesn't say that anywhere. I haven't heard the comms. That's like giving Doublelift full benefit of the doubt why he lost them the game alone. Like, yes, there were mistakes before, but the game ends way earlier because he ints. So, this games are happening after he, like, basically relived 2016 Worlds with his, like, play against Crown. And yeah, we're in game 4, and he's playing pretty well. So I'm going to give a big shout out to Doublelift. He's come back from the hard int in game 1. So yes, untiltable. Back to the game. Oh, this game is so far ahead. You can make a lot of mistakes. It's utility members from TL who don't do a lot of damage in the late game that are fast and have reliable pick CC. And it doesn't matter that they don't do damage in the late game because it's so far from the late game, and right now base damage with levels is enough. So they're really, really far ahead at this point at TL. Like, TSM needs this to be a 45k gold game, i.e. they need 15k more gold, or TL would need 10k more gold to get to that number. Like, there needs to be 45k gold on TSM's side for their extra damage to actually matter. Rek'Sai's taking red buff around top side as they lose their inhibitor turret. Nice. Zillion's like, cool, I got TP soon. Look, at least I get the kill. It's going to draw a double TP. How fast are these people? Pretty fast. Wait. Did that really happen? There's so many TPs. Also, Sven teleports into basically a turret dive, but I guess it's to... Everyone can... I just love... I prefer to relive this the other way. Like, this is a comical amount of teleports, but you know what the best part is? Live this play from here. You know, they almost took an inhibitor turret and everything. I choose to live this play through the minimap as Braum and Skarner. Because, like, Skarner's taking Krugs when this starts. And Braum doesn't have teleport on his unsealed spellbook. As, like, it's the Ultra Fiesta double teleport on a damn tunnel. And then Braum and Skarner are like, Like, Braum has to, like, go on a marathon. Marathon run of Braum. What a homie. He has to walk the entire map to get there. Meanwhile, Smithy's like, well, I stole his Krugs. What am I going to do? Like, it's so far for them, and it's such a comical like undertone to like this, to the instant double teleport on a tunnel. Wait, I'm trying to work out. Can you tell it's a double teleport on the tunnel? I'm watching the tunnel because everyone remembers the famous. Yeah, you can see it, right? So the swirl gets thicker, I assume, on a double TP. Someone clip this and send it to Piglet. He'll be very tilted. But I was trying to work out how the double teleport in a tunnel works. It's a funny old game. Remember when mid laners taking teleport was just Peke trying to backdoor people? Like, it's been a long time since then. Now everyone teleports everywhere. Even 80 carries go for the int teleport. You can choose which of the tunnels. Why doesn't he just teleport to the defensive one? I don't know. It's a funny old game. You have to just laugh. And the play-by-play cast is like, I don't know who's teleporting. But now it's a map reset, and like doesn't matter that everyone could teleport to the Fiesta fight up top in a turret. Like every other map state is huge advanced TL. Righteous Glory Skarner. Turbo Skarner, baby. Way more games with Lissandra go this way than they used to. Skarner versus Akali, by the way. You know you're far ahead when you can just run straight into Akali, get punked by her E, and then just ult someone else. Yeah, the double mountain's pretty nice too, huh? I mean, it killed the enemy jungler, so it's a free Baron. Turbo Skarner! Man, this is what you want from a game 4. It's like a palate cleanser. Everyone's dying. Super hard. Game ended like 10 minutes in with the advantage TL got. TL's snowballing it well with Fiesta TP. This is a fun game. There's the crowd. And you just don't know how Arcadian and Broken Blade will back up their performance in Game 5. Because I think for veteran players who have lost big games before, this is the one you're happy to lose. Because you're like, well, we got stomped. Let's just, go back to our coach. And, you're not worried about this game on the losing side because it's so over so early. But for young players, it can be emotional, like going down. Potentially being reverse swept is really, really hard. Yeah, it's really, really hard to understand how things come back from this. It's a 4-1 where, with Baron, you even get to lane Kennen against Akali and win. Happy times. Like, you see how hard this is? Because think about a game where we're in the late game, everyone has 60,000 gold. This would never happen. This play here, where Lissandra has, like, god tier flank, right? Like, it's very much a teleport flank. And yet, no confidence in damage. Also, notice Sven. He takes double bomb and can't be involved in this. And Bjergsen's like, shit, I don't have Sven doing auto attacks, maybe some mystic shots. We're very far behind in gold, and it's zillion Tahm Kench. Like, this is like some Schadenfreude moment for Bjergsen, where he's like, damn it, like, I can't do anything. Like, there's nothing he can do here. He's trying to just kite around, like, his R is only a self-ult because there's no one to ult. It's too much of a gold lead. 4 kills for Team Liquid, the perfect number for them. Fucking freak. Nailed it. He gets it. And if anyone called him on it, he'd be like, yeah, it's perfect because it's game 4 and they're going to win. Nicely done. I love it. Great game. Well, that one was like a Super Stomperino. That's just the Super Smash Brothers game. Utility Comp had a lot of work to do, right? It had a lot of work to do, but it's all from here. Where is it? I've never seen a game where the team that had the double flash disadvantage with Skarner jungle played this well. First, Jensen hugging the bot side, which is more standard, obviously, into his positioning in the counter gank in mid lane. I don't think I've ever seen a team play the 2 minutes no flash on both solo laners to 4 minutes 24 double kill. It's obviously a super like specific reference to make, but like that was awesome. A really, really awesome way to subvert the strongest part of the game for TSM. Rek'Sai's jungle ganking advantage, pre-5 minutes or pre-level 6, and double flash advantage for TSM turned into a double kill. And you just don't win many games like that. Really well played by TL to position and subvert that. And yeah, TSM was a little bit too bold, but yeah, good look for TL. That'll conclude my game number 4 VOD review. Going to play some ads, answer some questions, and then we got game number 5, baby. 6.5 hours in. Uno game to go. I don't know what happens in it. I just know who wins. Let's find out why, and then we'll finish off the stream by going over our original 7 criteria and working out what was answered, what's not, and what realistic expectations for TL are after the break. So thank you very much for game number 4. One more game coming up soon. See you guys in a bit.